Hello everyone, Matt here with another What Did You Read Yesterday? Now, first and foremost, I would like to apologise I haven't yet uploaded the week 1 recap video. I'll do that tomorrow morning because there's some changes I would like to implement in the channel before I do, but you'll see those probably be before you even see the video. Now, I'm going to talk about a book that I've wanted to talk about since I was like 10 or 11. This is one of the first manga that I was ever exposed to. I saw it a lot on comic book shelves, and then I either read it from library or friends. My memories are a bit hazy. In fact, whether I read it all back then is a little bit hazy as well. And that is Outlander by Johji Manabe. Now, as you will notice, this is a floppy manga. It's because this is one of the first things that Dark Horse ever published, therefore also one of the first books that Studio Proteus ever worked on. It is a bit of modern manga history, and I absolutely love Johji Manabe's work. I have all of it. I have Caravan Cave, I have Dracun, I even have some of his Aero manga stuff just because I really enjoy looking at his artwork. I mean, I even have a standee of Calm from this book because I was like, oh my god, Outlander merch when I was at Comic-Con. And I realised, oh, it's Studio Katsu Udon, Johji Manabe's stand. So I got that and some other stuff. Anyways, I adore Outlander. It is a book that I'm very tempted to show you this side because, again, it is flipped. But at its very core, why I think it captured my imagination so young was one of my gateways into manga was the idea that it's kind of part space opera. It is part monster movie, but then also, I guess now, the Japanese manga factor that I would associate kind of is close a little bit to something like Urusei Yatsura in some respects. So a little bit of Rumiko Takahashi sprinkled in there as well. It's the story of a photojournalist slash reporter whose name is Tetsuya, and essentially starts the story by getting hammered by people who work at the newspaper with him, telling him to come down because there's a big story happening, and that story is aliens are slowly invading Earth, and they're giant, big, insect-looking, organic-looking creatures that kind of remind me a little bit of the Ohm from Nausicaa. But they are their own thing, as I will explain as we get into it. And rightly so, as all of this starts going down, the government and the army in particular realise, well, this isn't just a war for Japan, this is a war for the Earth. And you realise there's loads of, like, subterfuge and shadowy world organisation stuff going on in the back of this space opera as well. When Tetsuya is running around this war zone trying to take photos of soldiers and everything else, the media's kind of being forced into a blackout and he escapes through. And you see these really grisly, violent scenes. You're like, what the heck is going to happen? And you are introduced to Calm, which is, you know, potentially one of the coolest character introductions I've seen in a manga for, you know, what is essentially the sexy bikini space lady with a giant sword. She is introduced actually by being a total badass, which I think was potentially one of the first times I'd kind of seen that within modern manga, and obviously I've seen it a lot of times since. But as they start going on, essentially Tetsuya steps on her foot, she drops her sword and runs away and declares victory over it. But naturally, even though the aliens flee, the mothership starts coming in, and you get these sick spaceship designs that are one of the reasons that I absolutely adore this series. There's even some of the concept work at the back of this book, which all just looks sick, even though he's saying, like, this is kind of close to Macross. I'm like, yeah, it is Manabe, but please give me the Macross. It's fine. Anyways, so from there, the ship comes, and naturally things aren't what they seem. You get loads and loads of these really impressive spreads of things going on. But there's also not only the alien kind of war stuff, you also see lots of, like, modern military things, lots of spaceships, weirdly, like actual spaceships, like Apollo rockets and stuff that go into space to fight these things. Again, I'm just going to show more sick biomechanical spaceships because kind of that is what this book is focused on, is this idea of, like, biomechanical stuff. Yeah, these alien invaders are coming to Earth, but it's strongly hinted at here in the first volume that maybe the reason they're coming to Earth is that they used to live on Earth, so maybe these aliens are actually the original humans. Who knows? It's too early to say in this first volume. I can't remember if it's actually true or not. But yeah, obviously Tetsuya and Calm start to form a relationship. She kisses him, which means that she can now speak the same language as him. And even though all of this stuff is going on, and again, more secrety, shadowy government stuff starts happening, it becomes the story of Calm and Tetsuya. They start to talk together, and again, I will say, some of this artwork, by today's standards, looks a little bit tame, looks a little bit dated, but there's just such a charm to everything that Johji Manabe does for me that I just really, really enjoyed reading it. Again, you start to see, as the book goes on, a lot of modern military stuff, but also the first book ends with the complete and utter destruction of Japan. The aliens wipe it out, and so they are flung to different corners of the earth. Calm escapes with Tetsuya. His reporter friend, who I cannot remember the name of, I believe it's Amy, escapes to Russia, which obviously is an excuse for him to draw some Reiji Matsumoto-esque characters in the Russian hat and fur coat. But all in all, it is a wonderful volume. I absolutely adore Johji Manabe's work. It is something you will see me talk about probably on this channel a lot, because I have a ton of it. And again, I can't really talk about it on the podcast because this book has been out of print for like almost 40 years. Man, that's crazy to think about, that this book is from 1989. But it's the truth. It's been very, very long out of print. It is hard to get. It is only in floppy, obviously, and unfortunately, while I keep seeing Dark Horse announce omnibuses and everything else, I don't think Outlander is a series we're going to get, which is a massive, massive shame, because again, I mean, look at it! Look at it! Oh gosh, it's so good. I cannot wait to read the rest of these volumes. I cannot wait to show them on this channel. And honestly, as I'll probably talk about in the recap-y video of me trying to think about what going forward I'll do on this channel, it'll probably be more of the old stuff, I think, because I think there's a lot of people who cover it that much, but also it's just honestly the stuff that excites me the most. I can just see Silent Mobius just staring at me out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a video on Silent Mobius soon, because that series is sick as well. I'm going to read all of these books on this channel. I'm going to use it as an excuse to dig up some Reiji Matsumoto. I'm going to use it as an excuse, as again, I said, to talk about more Tezuka work. I just want to talk about old manga, and this feels like it's going to be the place for that. Naturally, I'm not an expert, just someone who really enjoys it, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, modern stuff will go in. Maybe I'll try and figure out, okay, I do a retro book, then a modern book, then a slightly more modern but a still out of print book. I don't know. I'll figure out the cadence of how I actually do these videos once the September experiment is over. But for now, if you are a fan of Johji Manabe like I am, please let me know in the comments below, because I will be very interested in meeting other people who are a big fan of his work as well. And obviously, I will be back tomorrow with another retro book, I think, but probably not Outlander 2 as much as I would love to do it. Anyways, folks, if you've enjoyed, please let me know as always, and I will speak to you again tomorrow. Take care. Read on. Bye-bye.